Yo, welcome back to more March Comes In Like a Lion, episode 43. So last time, Hina, well, first of all, I just want to say I'm going to be finishing the series today, these last two episodes. We'll see whatever. I know, however, this season 2 will end. It'll be very nice. It'll feel very good. Bittersweet, because I will be wanting more, knowing that there are many more stories to see and to tell from these characters I've come to love at this point. So it's gonna be tough to like have to stop, but I'm gonna force myself to hold out on the manga and maybe hold out some hope in 2021 for some news or something of this anime coming back. I know it's unlikely, but that's what I'm gonna do. But eventually, I know I will have to come back to this series because it's easily one of the top anime or just shows in general I've ever seen. So though I'm in love with just the medium of the anime and the way it's, the music and the visuals and everything, I'm sure Umino Chico does a fantastic job in the manga. It's her writing, and I still think it's amazing that this anime exists, that Shaft, could be the ones to bring this story to life. And the cast is great as well. There's just way too much to like about this anime for me to like even just slightly risk not being able to see more of it. So I'm gonna hold out that hope, as I'm sure others are, and I don't know, we'll see. More than likely I'll end up coming back to the manga, and maybe I'll do like some written thoughts about it or figure out how to do manga reactions. I don't know, I gotta figure that out, because there's a couple of those that I want to look into. But either way, last episode, Hina, we saw the seeds were sown in her brain. We saw kind of the mood she was in back at home, and Ray kind of saw that, asked if she was free on Saturday, and took her, to his school. And we got to see our former Shogi Science Club members come back. Love that. Hayashida got to meet Hina, which was great. It was like finally getting to meet this girl that he saw Ray, go so far for, teasing him almost like a big brother. Hayashida's such a goober, but I love that he got to finally meet her. They did the whole flume noodle thing, which is interesting. There's a lot in this show that I learned, like, culturally, or just things that I had no idea about. And it's like with the food and with the festivals, and I love seeing stuff like that. That looked pretty fun, honestly, and it was very fun and funny how they did that. And he, not experiencing that fun, ended up wanting to go to that high school. Just that change, that very scary change of jumping to high school. Wondering if she would just end up in the same situation, starting in a scenario where she didn't know anyone. Now wants to go to Ray's school because he sees what it could be, and Ray was so excited about it, helping her study for it. Them studying together was very sweet. We saw Akari bring the comfort udon, more feels, about their mother. But we also, sweet that Akari was able to do that for Hina, just like their mother did for Akari when she was young. When she was studying, now she can do that for Hina. Really like that. And in the end, with grandfather, because Hina just, being from the family she's from, we've seen their financial struggles, throughout the show. She's no spoiled kid. Having the thought, like, seeing the price of their sweets, how hard, their grandfather would have to work, to get the funds, to put her through that school, even like reconsidering it. And, in that conversation with him just being just the best grandfather ever, just like seeing just the excitement in her, like that she would have that fun there. Like, he'll work that bean jam as long as he can. He knows he can, and he'll fucking do it for his granddaughter, right? That is, love that. And that's just, that's what you're supposed to do as a parent, 100%. And I love that, he was able to do that. It's not surprising from his character, but I love that we were able to alleviate that in Hina, and I guess continue to make this happen. So we'll see if we'll continue into this next episode at the very least. Maybe in these next two, I'm sure we will, just to see, I guess, an update there. We are into a new year. There's a bit of a jump in time there. So, and I guess we'll probably maybe get a glimpse of what's next for Ray. So let's see. Beginning the episode in 3, 2, 1. The last two times I'll watch this opening on my first watch, I always get this bittersweetness. Mostly sweet, because this intro is exactly that. Hmm. Ah, blood pressure. That's what I'm talking about. Hey. Love that he's still so fiery. He's got family to live for. Yeah. Yeah. Old school. Hmm. That smile though. It's gonna be a long time, buddy. If that happens. He's a baby, basically. Yeah. Mid 90s. I'm sorry, Sloman. Oh no. Oh man. Well, keep taking care of yourself. Same to you. Ooh, 5 days. Ah, yes. Many breakdowns in school. Wow. And that's the weakest. She's gonna ace him. Gonna ace these exams. Nice snowflakes. Goddamn. Oh. I guess they won't be uh Thought so. Damn. That's tough. That's like her crush. Oh, Ray. Hmm. She liked him a lot. Of course. And she was gonna find out sooner or later. But it is bad timing. I understand Ray feeling bad. Delivering that news. Takahashi milk. Hmm. Whoa. She feel like everyone's leaving her. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. uh. Thank you, Momo. Okay. Be safe. Uh. She was out in the cold. God damn it, I love Ray. He's such a rock now. Here we go. Do your best. Oh. Good catch. And thank you, Ray. And then there's Ray. Hmm. Someone else said that. Yeah. Yep, not everyone. Don't you ever. Hmm? What is this unbridled joy? Ah, of course. Of course. Oh my god. Well deserved. Nice. That looks so good. Now this is a flavor I know. Look at all this cheese. Oh my goodness. As beverages. Uh-huh. Yay. Yep. So young, so young. Who would have thought? Oh, she loves you now. Oh my god. At all. A young animal. So we see what she thought before. Goodness. They all know Ray. Yeah. Everyone else already loved him. Trusted him completely. Not only Akari, but Dad too. And now she's all, okay, I see why she's so. Wow. She gets it now. You get all the pets. Yeah. uh, mm, wow. He was even considering that. God damn. Hell yeah. Hopefully not. He's terrifying. Ochre Ray? Oni? Yay. uh, such a pure love. That one day. Hey. Nice. Haven't seen you in so long. Yeah. It'll be a much different match. Gosh. Spring comes. Ugh. Oh, they hit all the notes in this one. For both of them at this point. For Hina and for Ray. What they both mean to each other and how it changed perspective. Especially for Ray. Oh. Spaceman Ray. Yay. That'll be nice. This art. This was an important episode, and I like the placing of this before the last one, because once I feel like once we go to the last one here, we'll see where I guess the next part of the story is going to pick up from. But in this one, you know, seeing for both Hina and Ray, starting with Hina, you know, learning from Ray that Takahashi is going to be going to high school very far away. You know, contrary to what she thought before, like breaking a small egg is how Ray felt, but you know, Hina, and you know, she wandered over to Takahashi's, you know, family's place and smelled what they were having and just wandered around in the cold, just reflecting on the fact that, of course, the feeling of Takahashi leaving, which is who she had like a super big crush on, as we knew, super big crush, and then it getting to the point where she thought about how she loses everyone, like her mother, her grandmother, her father, you know, Takahashi. Like, this is something she's grown used to, and she even like acknowledging that she'll go into a place where she takes who she has, you know, for granted, that, you know, tomorrow doesn't guarantee that they'll still be there, that things will be the same. And that's very true. And I you know, and when she said that, I was like, yeah, that definitely applies to me too. I definitely take a lot for granted, and what happened afterward is definitely the solution there. And her, you know, looking to Ray, you know, while she got the cold after being out in the cold and continuing to doubt herself, then being like, what if I don't recover for this cold? What if I forget everything? What if like everything could just goes even worse from here? And just Ray just being that rock, being like, you know, you won't forget, got this stuff down, it'll be okay. If you need anything, I'm here for you. Just being there. He is so good at that now, and it's so nice to see. Like it's very continually just proud of Ray for being at this point. We talk about this a lot, but it's still very nice to see, to help Hina in that situation, but also to remind her to be grateful that he's there. And that's something I've definitely heard a few times from people much wiser than me, which is to focus on being grateful on what you do have, because that is like what grounds you. That's what lets you like really see what's in front of you. And honestly, that's something I forget a lot, right? And for Hina to, even if we remind ourselves to be grateful a lot of the time, we're still going to fall into different kinds of emotions. But for Hina to have that thought at such a young age, it was given, I mean, everything she's gone through, and thankfully the way Ray has been with her for so much throughout the second season has been great. And we see now at the end point here of where she's transitioning to high school, and we saw past the exam. That was great. For a lot of that, I just didn't even know what to say for a lot, but I was just happy. I was tearing up through a lot of the final half of that episode. It was just, they had to replay that scene, man, and they just, oh man. Yeah, this was a good one. So we saw now what in totality what that meant, what that means to Hina, and what it's all meant, and it's great. Now we get to see her move forward, and then we saw that for Ray, right? And the way he described it was beautiful. Finding a light within himself that wasn't there before, like her becoming a part of him, essentially describing like this love he has for her, not as romantic, which is never been the idea I've ever gotten, which is as someone has mentioned before, it was refreshing, right? That they don't force that, I suppose. But yeah, just loving her as a human, as a person, as two people that can feel and understand each other, or just be there for each other. That is important, and I love that they were able to find that in each other, and especially for Ray, that he can be at this point, even during his shogi matches, going extra careful, extra focused, so as Hina not to feel like she's causing him to fail by him spending so much time helping her study or just being there. He's incredibly thoughtful. He is, whereas in the beginning he was completely inside of his head, and now he's as outside it as any person can hope to be, right? Like, I want to be like Ray at this point, right? And I guess after everything so far, it's nice to talk about that, I guess it summarily of everything they've gone through together. And of course we see that love with everyone around them as well, like with the Kawamoto family. Like in the very beginning, their grandfather being all fired up, hearing his blood pressure has gone down significantly, which is amazing. And his doctor pointing out, you've changed. Before you used to not care as much, used to be like, I'll die whenever, and you could immediately feel just why that change was there, because understanding, with Akari and Hina and Momo, like he has to live for his family, like they count on him, they need him, and he's such a wonderful grandfather. It would be a supreme shame, to lose him. And that's something, that feeling he has, I'm sure is very, like, much more intense when you are lucky enough to live to his age, right? But I admit that I also like feel that now, even just being 24. Like, I feel like the decisions I make with my diets and exercise and things, I struggle a lot there, but I experience a lot of, I guess, distress or anxiety about the fact that I'm sowing the seeds for my future health right now. Like it's easy for me to think that my 20s are whatever, like I can do whatever I want, and really I only have to catch up with the effects I finally face, I guess, when I reach my 30s or my late 20s or whenever. I mean, there's no really, when you get older you're more susceptible to things, but these things can happen at any age. But yeah, so why I take so much time to drink so much water every day. I fuck up a lot diet wise, but yeah, man, because I do, and it's for that same reason. Like I have a a little brother that is like 20 years younger than me, right? And there are certain circumstances where his only family really anywhere near is me and my mother. Like we're all he has, and I have to be that male role model to him, I suppose. And I this thought rings in my head all the time, like I have to be there. I think of everything that could happen in the future of his life, like him, you know, graduating high school or going to college if that's what he wants to do, or getting married and having a child, or what. Like I think of all these things, and the thought that comes to mind is I have to be there. I have to be there. I have to be there. So I that is what screams at me in like the decisions I make. And sometimes a lot of times I make bad decisions, and then that creates a lot of cognitive dissonance and anxiety and stress there, which is, you know, it's very stupid, but that's kind of how my brain works. But yeah, so I definitely like resonate with that thought, even being as young as I am. And I can imagine when you're older, when you reach that age, when you have a family, right? Because I don't have any kids or anything like that yet, or if I do, but I can imagine it's just that much more stronger, right? So I love that. We see the love from their grandfather. We see from Akari constantly showing that kind of motherly pride, and I guess Rei acting motherly to Hina as well, as she pointed out, like Imada said before. But that's just Rei at this point, man. Even when their aunt was all worried, we saw like in Akari and in their grandfather, there was no doubt that, you know, Rei wasn't gonna do anything there. Like, no, of course not. That's like nothing that's not a thing that's ever crossed my mind, ever, right? Like we can't even fathom that. Of course, we as a viewer just know Rei and just know, you know. But it was nice to see just how much, you know, they love him and know him at this point, that they completely, you know, trust him. And then she felt guilty and was trying to feed him a lot, and, you know, found out how he's been helping her study and helped her pass, and now she loves him too. That's great. And yeah, there's just so much support and love at this point, and it feels good after everything, right? Like, no matter what happens next in the story, whatever hardships come next, because there will be, I know there will be, it'll be okay. Even if the scale of that reaches a point that hasn't been reached yet, at least in present time. For example, if someone passes, or if someone, I don't know, there's a lot that could happen in a show like this that I don't doubt could be pushed to that point, and force our characters to really like go through certain griefs for another time. Like again, like Rei understands, you know, losing family, understands that loss, as does Hina, as does, you know, all of the Kawamotos. And, you know, we have various other characters that go through their own things. Like, we've learned so many experiences and pain that can be explored more, reawakened. Like, I don't want that. Like, I do want to see them strive and do good at this point, to continue to see just the fruits of everyone's progress, particularly Rei's, and just see them just experience life in a nice way. But I know those things will come, but I also know that they will be all right, because I'm really fucking proud of these characters at this point. Goddamn, what a story, man. Big props to Umi no Chika for writing this and creating this, and to Shaft for making this visually just such a delight. Beautiful, man. But anyway, these are thoughts I should probably save for the next episode, which I will be watching right now. So I guess that's it. We'll see how this season ends and what will be sown for what's to come, I guess. So anyway, that's all I gotta say about this one. Thank you very much for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.